What is up, people? Welcome back to Between Thoughts, the only place where we've all started a business, written a book, built a six pack, healed emotionally, all without leaving the bed. Honestly, if thinking counted as doing, we'd all be billionaires with perfect mental health and a Netflix documentary about our grind. Because let's be honest, you've had that moment, right? That one idea, the one that hits you at 2 a.m. in the morning, and suddenly you're not just you anymore. You're a founder, you're a creator, you are disciplined, you wake up at 5 a.m. in the morning, drink black coffee, post content, and change lives. And then you wake up at 10:30, scroll for about 2 hours, and think, yeah, I'll start tomorrow. Today's episode is not failure, not laziness, something worse. The illusion of accomplishment without doing anything. So let's start with a simple question. Why does thinking feel so good? Your brain doesn't know the difference between imagining success and actually earning it. So when you think about an idea, your brain rewards you. You feel productive without producing anything. There's this guy. So let's call him Arjun. Arjun was about 23 years old, but in his head he had started 47 business. Not one, not five, but he had 47 business ideas. He has notes. He has written down his do's and don'ts, pros and cons, and also listed out the materials. He has voice memos, half made logos, domain names he bought at 3 a.m. And here's the twist, he never started a single one. Because every time he gets close, he gets a better idea. And that new idea feels just as satisfying as actually building something. Here's the truth, Arjun isn't lazy, but he's an addict. He is addicted to the feeling of becoming without the discomfort of being a beginner. But this isn't new. The struggle existed long before Instagram's productivity reels. Even thinkers like Nietzsche talked about this idea in a different form. He said he believed we often live in illusions because reality is uncomfortable. Imagine two versions of your life, one where you try and maybe fail, and one where you never try but always believe you could have succeeded. Which one hurts less? Exactly. This is why ideas are safe. As long as it's just an idea, you are still talented, you are still capable, and you are still someone who could have been great. But the moment you execute, you risk becoming average. And if you think this is just philosophy, uh, it's not. Movies have been screaming this at our faces. Like for years, they have been doing it. Let's take The Secret Life of Walter Mitty. Walter lives his entire adventure in his head. He is heroic, he is bold, he is fearless, but in real life, he can barely talk to someone he likes. In all honesty, dude, he doesn't lack imagination. He lacks execution. And the moment he steps into reality, it's messy, it's awkward, and it's uncertain. But also, it's real. Now let's think about Fight Club. There's this line that hits hard. We are consumers, we are byproducts of a lifestyle obsession. Today, that obsession isn't just things, it's identities. We consume productivity content, not to act, but to feel like we are acting. So if ideas feel this good, why would anyone choose the harder path? Because here's the truth nobody tells you. Unexecuted ideas don't just disappear, they rot. There's a version of you 5 years from now. Same ideas, same plans, and the same mentality of saying I'll start soon. But now there's regret. Not because you've failed, but because you never gave yourself the chance to fail. Execution doesn't just build success, it builds identity. You don't become confident by thinking, you become confident by doing badly, repeatedly until it works. So, how do we break this chain? How do we break this cycle? Start small is something that I would say. It shouldn't be very dramatic, not motivational small, but very embarrassing small. Like post that bad video that you have on draft. Write the terrible first draft. Launch the version that makes you uncomfortable. Because the goal isn't perfection. It's proof that you are someone who exists and someone who can execute. And once you become that person, you stop falling in love with the ideas and start building reality. The maybe the problem isn't that we don't have good ideas. Maybe we are just afraid to meet the version of ourselves that exist outside of them. Because, to be very honest, inside your head, you are limitless. And in the real world, you are human. And the question is, do you want to feel like you could have been great? Or do you want to find out even if the answer isn't what you expected? Because at some point, you have to choose. You have to choose between a beautiful idea and a real life. And somewhere inside you, there's a life that only exists in thought. Perfect, untouched, undefeated. But real life was never meant to stay perfect. It was meant to be lived, shaped, and sometimes broken. So tonight, ask yourself, will your ideals or ideas remain a beautiful imagination, or will you finally give them a chance to become something real? So until next time, so until the next episode next week, stay curious, stay safe, and stay between thoughts.